So if you fall into this category, give me a call. I wanted to. Oh shoot! I forgot a couple pieces. All right, America, you're here for one reason and one reason only. It's because you want to know what it takes for you to become a homeowner. You are only here because you want to see what it takes to buy a house, whether it's your first house, second house, third house, investment property. Maybe you want to buy a couple of units. Maybe you want to buy your mom a house. Maybe you want to learn about reverse mortgages. Maybe you want to learn about first-time home buyer programs. Maybe you already know a lot of stuff and you just have a scenario that may be a little difficult that you need help with and some direction, and here's where you're going to get it. So load up that chat box with all your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts about buying houses. We are going to give you all the answers. We're going to send you down the right path, and you're going to love the experience.
Damn it. See what I did with that? I said, damn it.
How do you spell damn?
Wow. Damn it. D-A-M-N. Damn. Damn it.
How do you spell damn it?
D-M-N-I-T. Damn it. So, interest rates, what are they today? 5.75. 5.75 on an FHA. 5.75 on a VA. 5.75 on a 15-year fixed. And 6.25 on a 30-year fixed. Todd says you buy a house and 4 months later you want to sell it. Good idea?
Or not.
Or not. It's math, Todd. It's math. So, if you bought a house for $500,000, well, when you bought it for $500,000, there was acquisition costs. And they were not cheap, Todd. They were not cheap. If you're the average person, you paid about 6% in acquisition costs. So that $500,000 cost you in the neighborhood of $60,000 in commission. Is that right?
500?
500.
Buying
No,
and selling?
30,000. Yeah, 30,000.
Okay.
30,000.
Oh, yeah.
It cost you 30,000 in commission. So, 200,000. Okay, we'll go with real numbers. 200,000. Your acquisition cost is $12,000. So, your $200,000 house, you're into it for commissions at least 186,000. 180. Yeah, 184,000. 184,000.
188.
My brain hurts.
12 grand.
Okay, 12 grand. So, 188,000. I do math for a living, honest. So, 188,000 plus there was closing costs. Inside of those closing costs, probably about 6 grand, all the way up to 10 grand. We're just gonna make life real easy. Drop it down to 190, 180, 180. 180.
The math is mathin'.
180. So, if you tried to sell the house, yeah, what are you going to sell it for? Because you are anywhere from 10 to 20 grand into the house, and it's going to take some time for that appreciation to go, unless you're in a massively appreciating market.
Yeah.
If you're in a massively appreciating market, some people can sell it, and if you say right now you can get 235, all right, that's a profit situation. That's
Maybe,
math.
maybe. I mean, you're gonna be positive maybe 10 grand in that neighborhood. Maybe,
Okay.
Maybe 15
Yeah.
grand, which is
Yeah.
positive, but is that what you're looking for? So here's my opinion, guys. This is real opinion from a guy that does loans who makes commission if you guys get a loan from us, okay? I'm gonna say this. If you're gonna buy a house to live in, expect to live in it for at least 5 years. For at least 5 years. If you're not going to live in it for 5 years, if you're going to bail in a year, if you're going to bail in 18 months, I would say probably shouldn't buy a house. Not to live in. If you're going to invest, if you're going to rent it, if you're going to flip it, you know, these other things that people do, different story. But if you're looking for your primary residence to live in, if it's not going to be 5 years or more, I would say probably don't do it.
Now, could be some external factors like Todd. Let's just say you came home and said, hey, you know what? I want a divorce. I don't want to live here anymore. I'm moving to Miami from Pennsylvania.
That's the move if you get divorced.
Yeah. Then sell it because it's not math. It's not money. At that point, it's a different factor that's pulling you in life. But if you're trying to find out whether or not you should buy a house and sell it and try and flip it, there are flippers out there who make a living doing this, and they're really good at it. But they're very dormant right now because carry costs kill you. Carry costs are, hey, I got to pay for the loan, upkeep, any problems that happen every month until I sell it. And my time is worth some money. So let's just, simple math, this is the money for you, Todd. If you bought it for $200 and you sell for $235, if you netted both numbers, you have $35,000 over 4 months, which is roughly $8,000. So you're making $8,000 a month, but that's if you netted both numbers. The challenge is that there were commissions on both sides of every transaction. There are costs involved with every transaction, so you have to figure out what you net. So it's math, unless it's not math.
Yep.
Like, hey, I'm getting a divorce, gotta go. That's a different story.
Job opportunity, family loss, all kinds of stuff. So Virginia, yes, we can help in Virginia. Pennsylvania, PA, yes, we can help in Pennsylvania. Todd, thanks for joining. Jim Bimbo. What happens if I get a no-doc loan and I want to refi soon? The first thing that comes to mind is you got a no-doc for what reason, and what the heck is a no-doc loan today?
Yeah, what's a no-doc loan to you? Because a no-doc loan, my no-doc loans are docs. My no-doc loan is going to be show me 12 months of bank statements, which are documents.
And credit.
Which
and
are
down payment.
And down payment, and assets, and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, my credit's at 530. No, we got to finish this.
That's Taisha.
All right.
What do you mean? The no-doc loan?
Oh, yeah.
Taisha, the Thai family. I want to buy a house. My credit is 530, but I have $20,000 down. Would I be able to buy?
Taisha, bad news. No.
He's just...
It's a little harsh, but...
Don't get emotional.
Yeah, don't get
this
emotional.
This guy's not nice all the time.
I'm not nice all the time, but just
know
factual.
Just facts. Just facts.
Yeah. So even if you came to me with a 580 FICO and you said, hey, I got a lot of money down, right now the lending business is so tight with low FICO scores that I can't get a 580 qualified even with a significant down payment. It's very difficult. Here's the ugly part of that. If you have a 530 FICO, you earned that 530 FICO. Somebody trusted you with debt, you didn't pay them back on time, and it shows up on your credit. So that 530 is going to hurt you going forward all the time. I'd say direct your efforts to getting that FICO score up. There are things that you can do, but I would say that you get your FICO score up so that you have a real opportunity to buy.
All right, guys, here's the name of the game, okay? We're giving free information. I won't say it's advice because we're not advising anyone. We're just giving you the guidelines and how it works and how it doesn't work, okay? But here's how it really helps everybody is the more questions you ask, the more we can help everybody, the more likes you give us, the more shares you give us, the more exposure we get, the more people come in and ask more questions that may help you too. So please give us those hearts. Please give us those shares if you like what you hear right here, okay, guys?
Okay.
I have a mate car, don't know what that is, mate's car payment loan and trying to buy a house soon. Baby Rosa.
I think it's a late car payment.
Oh,
so
Baby
if
Rosa.
it's 130 day, it'll affect your FICO score, but it won't affect your ability to buy. If it's 230 days, you're going to have trouble. If it's 160, you're going to have trouble. If it's 90, you're probably toast. So if it's just one late payment, I'm going to need an LOE, letter of explanation. What happened? You just want to know what happened. That's all. So probably not a big problem, but the only way we'll really know, pull your credit, build your file, and then we'll tell you.
Yeah. EdMark0108. Is it worth it to pay discount points now if I plan to refinance later?
Edmar. Very simple. It's just math. It's always math. So if you spent, let's just do some simple math. Let's say you spent $10,000 to buy down the rate. And when you bought down the rate, it saves you $300 a month. Okay? So you spent $10,000 and it saved you $300 a month. How long before you make your $10,000 back? Well, that's pretty simple. 300 times 12 is $3,600 a year. So You're saving $3,600 a year, but it costs you $10,000 to do that. One joint. Rich.
Shoot better.
So you're saving $3,600, and it costs you $10,000 a year. I'm sorry, $10,000 to do that. So about 3 years is your break even. Right about 3 years, a little shy of 3 years. So if you refinance prior to 3 years, then you wasted your money. If you refinance after 3 years, a case can be made that you did a good move. But here's the better move. Math it out, figure out when the Fed funds rate is going to come down. And we actually tell you all the time, it's not me, Chairman of the Federal Reserve says that by the end of 2026 into 2027, that we expect the Fed funds rate to be at 2.5%. What does that mean for the mortgage rates?
What's up, KDZ?
The mortgage rates follow usually between 100 and 250 basis points of the Fed funds rate, which means 4 to 5%, somewhere in that range. So this is all guesswork. We don't know, but this is what the Fed is actually putting out. And they're kind of on track right now. Everything is kind of lining up the way they said they would, weirdly.
Yeah, weird. James Bimbo back in the house said 20% down. Okay,
yes, do it.
So no lock loan. No doc loan is what you did. Let's pretend that that's whatever. So do you have income? Do you have good credit? Okay, Jim. If you have good income, good credit, yeah, we can do a cash out. Now, you put 20% down. How long ago did you buy the house? Because if you want to, or you want to refinance it, never mind. You have to have a little bit of equity to refinance it with no mortgage insurance. So you have income, you have credit, we can make that happen. So I don't know about the no doc situation, but we can definitely do a traditional loan for you with this scenario as long as you have the income and the credit. Rowdy Rich. Everybody hang in there. We're going to get to every one of your questions. What would a payment on a $450,000 home be on an FHA loan?
Depends on your tax base, but I'm going to say anywhere from $3,800 to $4,400. You go with that?
Sure.
$3,800 to $4,400, somewhere in that range.
So FHA loan, guys, what he means is putting 3.5% down, which is just a little bit of money compared to a $450,000 loan.
Yeah.
Baby Rosa, don't tell me this, please. What about car payment loan? You do car payment loans?
We don't do car payment loans. Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
I think she did the 130-day late.
Yeah.
So if you had a 130-day late, it hurts you. If you pay anybody late for the next 10 years, it's going to hurt you. So the only way to not do this is don't pay your bills late. Don't pay them late. Don't overextend yourself on debt. It's pretty simple.
Okay. All right. James back in the house says 20% down, credit is good, no income. Okay, so what he's saying is he wants to buy a house, no doc, 20% down, and has no income. That's what he wants to do, and then refi later. I got a little bit more clarity now. Okay, so no doc loan, Lee, do you have those?
No doc loan doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's a cute colloquialism or euphemism for the old school days when you could lie to a loan officer, but that doesn't exist anymore.
But what do we have today?
Okay, so in 2012, something happened called the Dodd-Frank Law. The Dodd-Frank Law made guys like us, we have to go through a very tough test. We have to push down thumbprint. FBI has to do a check on us. We have to have good credit or you can't have this job. If you have any moral turpitude crimes in your past, you can't do this job. So we're called the barrier to entry to the financial world. So that doesn't happen anymore. Now, that doesn't mean loans don't exist because they're alt QMs like bank statement loan. I can do a bank statement loan where all you did was show me your bank statements for the last 12 months. I don't care where the money came from as long as it went into the bank and we saw it. So people like to call that no doc loan because I'm not showing my W-2 or my 1040. I'm not showing the way I earn income. I'm just showing you my bank statement. So people call that a no doc loan. So there's another one called DSCR. DSCR is when I put the whole file together and the mortgage gets covered by more than 125% by the rent that can be done, and you put 20% down, usually 25, but you can go 20%. You can go 15 in certain cases. But your credit will have to be pulled, and I do have to source a lot of these things, like where did your money come from? So in that situation, those are docs. So if you're talking no doc, meaning, hey, my income, well, there are a couple of alt QM packages that we can put together, but by and large, everything needs to be verified, everything.
Yeah, but you got two saving graces inside of this, James, and I think you should check in with us. 20% down, good credit. That is a good scenario.
That's a very
good scenario.
If anybody can pull it off, somebody with the money and good credit can do it.
Yeah, so give us a call. If you are interested in getting a home loan, guys, go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now. Our phone number is also there, so you can call us. Chris Ramirez, thank you for the love. Baby Rosa says, maybe just one day.
Baby Rosa, there's a small possibility, and it's a...
Maybe she's saying just one day late.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So maybe just one day. So if you're just one day, small possibility you can call the creditor and go, hey, there was a hiccup. And some creditors will go, you know what? We really want your business, so we're going to change this. And sometimes that can happen. Sometimes. Yeah. So it sucks, and we run into it all the time. But 130 day, because it's 1 day is 30 days. It doesn't matter. Because the truth of the matter is, you're due on the 1st. If you paid the 2nd, that's actually 1 day late. If you paid on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way up to the 30th, they don't even care. But the minute you're 30 days, you're late.
Yeah.
So it's not 1 day, it's 31 days.
Yeah. So, Baby Rosa, if it was due on the 1st and you paid on the 2nd, you're fine. You're fine. If you pay on the 31st, what? What does that mean?
I don't know. Looks like we're live. We had some technical difficulties. KDZ, what's up, KDZ?
All right.
So I don't know. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. So back to Baby Rosa. If you can hear us, if you're 1 day late, you're fine.
Yeah.
Put it in an application. Let's see where you stand. If you're 30 days late, we'll figure it out. Jane Bimbo said no income check. Got it. We have other scenarios we can go with.
No.
Liz, what is a good income? I'm in Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida. I heard that Orlando and the surrounding areas is actually a good opportunity here coming up very soon because the values are starting to tick down in that area. Mm-hmm. So Orlando, Florida is a good spot.
What did you do?
Nothing. What did you do?
I don't know. Well, it seems like we're screen recording of some sort, but all right. No, is that the normal
all right, guys,
layout display?
Hang in there. I'm going to check something. If you lose us, just hang in there. We'll be right back.
So, pros and cons of a USDA loan. All right, that's fine. Pros and cons of a USDA loan. Okay, so here's the big pro. Everybody loves this pro because it's one of the best pros out there. And it's the reason that everybody likes to talk about USDA loans. Zero down. And there's no mortgage insurance. There is government insurance, but it's not as high as mortgage insurance. It's called GI instead of MI. So there is an insurance, and it's called something different. So zero down, GI. Awesome. Funding fees a little less too. So those are the pros. Cons. You got to live out in the middle of nowhere because your area has to be approved by USDA. Oh, we didn't answer what's good income in Orlando, Florida. So let's get back to that.
Okay.
So good income in Orlando, Florida. So if you're buying a house for $300,000 in Orlando, Florida, good income's $100,000. That's good. I could probably get away with 80, maybe even 75 for a $300,000 house. So good income is relative. If you're trying to buy $1 million house anywhere in the country, you should be making $180,000 to $200,000, somewhere in that range. But if you're trying to buy a normal $300,000 house, $80,000, $90,000, I prefer 120, 140, so the debt to income is nice and in the comfort zone, right in the sweet spot, so I can get you the best rate, the best overall deal. So that's kind of the answer.
And
so
that's household income, guys.
Yeah.
So if one of you makes 60 and one of you makes 40, that's $100,000. If one of you makes 33 for 3 people, that's $100,000.
Yep.
So household income. So a lot of people think it's just them. No, add everybody's money together, get to $100,000. And I think that across the nation, if you make $100,000, we can put you into a house. I don't care what state you're in. We can put you in a house.
Pretty tough in LA, man.
I said state. I didn't say the city.
All right, okay.
I didn't say New York City.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Cameron.
Because I'm like, I do loans in LA, man. I $100,000, or somebody says, hey, I'm buying a house. They're like, hey, I make $100,000. I'm like, yeah,
Give
in
me
LA.
2 more of those?
We'll
get you going.
Can you get your mom to co-sign for you?
She makes $100,000.
She makes $100,000.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what James was saying. All right, James, you already heard us. Hope we can help you. Nasha, what about 3% down on a $285,000 house? Ugh, I need help.
Nasha, yeah, you can do that. But there's some catches, Nasha. If you're looking for the goodies of the loan world, you got to come to the table with some goodies. And if you want to do a 3% down and it actually works for you, 780 FICO or better. I prefer 800, but 780 FICO or better. Well, wait a minute. Why? That's a first-time homebuyer program. Yeah, but if you actually understand the loan business, then MI, which is mortgage insurance, is mandatory on FHA, and it's 0.55. 0.55, that's what it is. Doesn't matter if you have a 620 FICO or an 820 FICO, 0.55. Now, if you go for the 3% loan, there's only two loans like that. It's Home Ready and Home Possible. That's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And those ones mandate that you shop the MI. So if you came to me with a 622 FICO and you go, hey, I want to put 2% down, 3% down, I go, cool, 622 FICO, let me shop the MI. The last time I did this, it was 2.6%. Now remember, FHA is 0.55. So at a 622, it came in at 2.6%, which is ridiculous. It's really high. So you're better off with an FHA in that situation. Now, I ran the same scenario with somebody with an over 800 FICO. It came in at 0.19. So 0.19 is way better than 0.55. So if you have an 800 FICO and you want to do 3% down, yes, all day, every day.
All right, JLJ the Long Way. I like that name. Do you need to live in the home for a year before renting out the property?
Well, depends on what type of loan you get. If you get a FHA loan, then it is in the contract. You said, hey, I'm going to live here for at least 1 year. Yep. And we do not recommend you ever do the big F word in mortgage. Never. Never. So you should live there for 1 year. If you're in VA, 1 year before you can rent it out. That's by the rules. That's you agreed. You entered into an agreement with them. Now, if you went with a conventional, that's not so straightforward. Not all of them are so. In fact, some of them say, hey, listen, it's my second home or it's an investment property. So if you jumped in and you did a primary residence, we'd have to look at which loan you do. If it's VA, FHA, or USDA, they want you to live there for 1 year.
There you go. KDZ Karen DeZala, California, Arizona real estate. What would you put behind that?
Badass.
Extraordinaire.
Badass. Just badass.
I concur.
She's a straight badass.
She wants to know, can you stack buyer's compensation onto the loan?
Okay.
Buyer's agent compensation.
So that's a very tricky situation, KDZ, and you're putting me on the spot right now because there's nothing that prohibits it except in VA. And in the VA guidelines, it actually said the veteran cannot pay for the commission of the agent. And then because of this big NAR lawsuit, the VA wrote an addendum to the guideline that says they can. But it has to be agreed upon by all parties. And if you're trying to do it inside of the loan, that commission has to be below the appraised value. So there's the appraised value, and let's just say $500,000. And let's say you want to put the commissions on it. It has to be the purchase price plus all the costs plus all the commissions minus the down payment. So it's a very complicated formula. The simple answer is sometimes if you do it correctly, and the only one that really had a prohibitory situation inside of it was VA, but recently in the last 2-3 weeks, they wrote a guideline stating that you can do it.
Queen J, I have an FHA loan. Can I get another one, or do I have to refinance it to conventional to purchase another home?
Queen J, the simple answer is there is no simple answer. That's a simple answer. Because sometimes you can get 2 FHA loans, but you have to have a reason. What is a reason? Because I want to build my real estate portfolio is not a reason. That's not a reason. But let's just say you're in the military and you're stationed in Virginia and you got an FHA loan. Why you didn't get a VA loan? I have no idea. That's you did it, not me. But anyway, you got an FHA loan and you stayed in the military for your 3 years while they stationed you in Virginia. And then you got new orders and they're moving you to San Diego. And you go, hey, Mr. Military, I lived in there 1 year like I was supposed to, but my orders demand I go to San Diego. FHA may allow you to do another one. They might allow you to do another one. There's something called the 100-mile rule. It has to be over 100 miles, so that's the starting point. So from Virginia to San Diego is way more than 100 miles.
A little over.
Way more than 100 miles. But that's the situation. Can you have 2 FHA loans? Yeah, but you have to have a good reason. It's per underwriter discretion. But just building my real estate portfolio, never going to work.
Yeah, most of the time, especially if you're in the same neighborhood, same city type of situation, you're refinancing the conventional and then going FHA again. But it has to be your primary residence. You have to live in that house. Okay.
Did it say FDA instead of FHA?
It says FDA, but I'm gonna assume I said FHA.
Yeah, because maybe they got a loan from the Federal Drug Administration. Anyway, moving along.
Liz, I want to buy a $450,000 home, but make $90,000, no debt, 800 credits. I'm gonna say that's very close.
Yeah, you're right on the line, Liz. I mean, you're like 800 credits. What does it for you?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got an 800 credit, that's amazing. There's a lot of things we can look over if you have an 800 FICO. So, Liz, let's make it happen. Pretty simple.
Yeah. If you want to get a home loan, guys, go to the link in the bio. Select apply for a home loan now. Please give us hearts. Please give us shares. Yep. I'm saying please. I don't say please often. Kels, my husband and I make that. Yet can't get qualified at all. Kels. She said more. Hold on. We're going to find it. What's the minimum FICO?
So, Kels, I'll give you the technical minimum, and then I'll give you the reality. FHA, 500 FICO if you put 10% or more down. 500. 580 if you put 3.5% down. 580 FICO for FHA. You don't even open the door on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac until you hit 620. 620 opens the door, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. And VA, no FICO required. But let me give you the practicality of it. Right now, the government's still tightening up loans. And the way they do that is they tighten up the guidelines. We don't get a say in it. We run something called an automated software. And after we plug everything in, it factors your FICO score in. And if you had a 580 right now, it's very difficult for me to get you approved. Very, 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 very difficult. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 580 all day, every day. That's because the government behind the scenes would make the underwriting go, yeah, we're a little looser with the money, so 580, we'll let it go. They tightened up the guidelines behind the door, and when we submit the file, I submit a 580, everything else looks good, not approved. Yep. Not approved, not approved, not approved. That's the reality of it.
Yep. Sam, thank you for the love. KDZ, right back at you.
What's up, KDZ?
Mia Love, thank you for joining again. Haven't seen you in a while. We just put in an offer on a home, $20K less because of repairs. How often do they get approved for that kind of offer?
Well, Mia Love, it's market driven. So most important thing you can do is have a great realtor. That's a very important part, is have a great realtor. And so you have to look at the market. So let's just say this guy, he was living in Miami and you made the offer in Miami, but he just got a job transfer to Austin, Texas. So he's about to leave and oh shit, he doesn't want to be around. So that's a desperate seller, a motivated seller. It's what they call a motivated seller. So they may go with the lower offer. Or if the market just doesn't support it. If it's, look at DOM, days on the market. If it's been on the market for 120 days, this guy's been trying to sell for 120 days. And this is the only offer he's got, more likely to take it. So it's market driven, but you really do need a great realtor.
Yeah. Hey, dude, what can you tell me about assumable mortgages?
Okay. I can tell you that they sound amazing. They're pretty cool if you can pull it off. But nobody's helping you. Nobody. And I'll give you the dynamics on why they're not helping you. So if you came to me and you said, hey, Lee, I'd like to buy a house for $400,000 and I'd like to use you as a loan officer. I would say, that's amazing. Thank you very much. Let me put your credit. Oh, cool. You're qualified. Let's go. I'm going to make a commission. I'm going to make some money. And the realtor that got you into the house is going to make a commission. They're going to make some money. And the processor is going to make some money, and the seller's going to walk away with $400,000 because that's what you agreed on the purchase price. So there's a lot of people making money in this situation. The bank's even making money. Okay, cool, that's awesome. So guess what? I'm going to push that thing to close within 30 days. Why? Well, one, because the contract says 30 days, and I got to honor the contract. Two, I get to eat better because I make a commission. The realtor's going to push me to make sure I close the loan on time. So there's a lot of forces pushing you to close that thing in 30 days. A lot of them. So now you find a house and you're like, hey, I want to assume that guy's $300,000 mortgage. Well, is there a loan officer involved? No. So is there anybody helping you to do that? No. Nobody. Well, you're like, well, the bank. No, the bank already made their money. In fact, it costs them money because they have to make all the paperwork correct, and there's no extra fees for that assuming the loan. So when you assume the loan, you're assuming somebody's 4% interest rate and their $300,000 that they owe. But the bank doesn't make any money. Nobody makes any money. Now, can you do it? Yes. I assumed a loan. And I assumed a loan, and it took me 90 days, and I'm a loan officer, and I know how to do it. The time frame that I'm finding is 6 months to 9 months before somebody completes the assumption. And the reason for that is because there's nobody being paid a commission and being driven, and for that you get a better deal. I mean, I got a great rate when I assumed this loan. I got a great rate. I had to write some money out of pocket. I got a great rate, but it took me 90 days, and I knew everything that had to be done. Everything. I'm a loan officer. I do it for a living. I talked to the other loan officer. I said, hey, I'm a loan officer. What do you need me to do? She's like, that's great. Just prove your income. I'm like, I can do that. Can I help you? Nope. And I'm like, when you get back to me? Oh, you're on the list. I'll get back to you whenever I get back to you. Okay. Thank you. And all I could do was say thank you along the way, because if I piss somebody off, I know I go from 90 days to 120 days or longer. So that's what an assumption is.
Realty with Grace, Team Steber in the house. Thank you guys for joining on Instagram.
What's up, Team Steber? Great to see you.
Ashley Heiklin, what's up, young lady? How you doing?
Great to see you, Ashley.
Jessica, let's see what Jessica has to say. What happens if you have almost an 800 for Experian and 640 for, I guess, the other FICOs? Huge difference.
Jessica, there's a problem there. Usually to get that big of a spread, somebody's not grabbing something in the data. Now, the good news is, in the banking biz, we pull 3 scores. And that pull is good for 120 days, but we're going to want to repull at 90. So, when we pull, if we had an 800, a 720, and a 640, we'd use the 720. I know you want to use the 800. But the good news is we don't have to use the 640. We're using the 720. So we use the middle of the 3 FICOs. Now, if something hasn't been picked up by the other credit reporting agencies yet, and that's the reason we still have a big credit score, I'd want to lock that in and get you in and close the deal fast. Because as soon as everybody figures it out, you're going to balance.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Time for a commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officer, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding. You can do that by calling the numbers on the screen. But don't call them right now, because Chris's phone is on Instagram and Lee's phone is on TikTok. So we will not answer. But after we're done with this live, you can call us and we will help you get the house. This will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bye.
Like and share, guys. That really helps us. Give us those hearts. Give us those shares. Mia Love said it's been on the market 53 days.
Mia Love, now that you know 53 days on the market, the next thing you want to know is, what is the market? If the average days on the market in your area is 60 days, that's still a desirable property. In a lot of places in Florida, DOM is 60 to 90 right now. A lot of places in Florida. So that's just normal. But if your DOM in your area is 14 days or 28 days, and this guy's been on the market 53 days, you got a good situation on your hands there.
Yep. Jessica, thank you for the love. Deluxe cornbread. I love cornbread. Y'all work with VA construction loans? Barnuminiums.
Yep. We do the VA one-time construct. He actually went through a certification class, and he's certified. Like, certifiable. Certified. He's certified to do the VA one-time construct. He knows everything there is to know about it.
We be building houses.
So whenever I get a VA one-time construct, I'm like, dude, you went through that whole class of certification. You do this loan. And we talk all day, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, yes, we do the VA one-time construct. We do FHA one-time construct. USDA, you're certified for USDA, right?
All day.
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all 5 main loan outlets we can do USDA we can do a one-time construct.
Yeah, all you real estate agents out there, you need to reach out to us, because we're going to put you up on this, and you're going to get more business than the next probably 10 years. Building's going to be booming, guys. It's going to be booming. And when it is, you want a piece of it. And this is going to be a piece of it because you can do the financing for new construction. You can buy the land. You can do everything that you need to do. If you're in a rural area, you can do septic tanks. You can do propane tanks. You can do solar. You can do so many things as long as it makes sense, guys.
The Fed just spoke. He left the interest rate unchanged. So we kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah, September, guys.
Yeah, we knew that was
coming. Cross your fingers for September.
Yeah.
Hold you heard that sold by Karen because you need to get up on the one-time construction. I know you know your stuff, but whatever. Reyes. Okay, I have a piece of land. I can build 2 houses myself. Can I get an FHA construction loan to build both?
You're certified. Tell them.
Certified. So the answer is no.
No.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Can you do one FHA, one-time construction? Yes. But remember this. FHA is primary residence. Okay? One-time construction across the board is primary residence. So what does that mean? That means when you build the house, you're going to live in it. Okay? FHA is always primary residence, so even if you finance the house, you're going to live in it. This is not built for investors. This is not built for builders. This is built for the person or the family that wants to build the home of their dreams. Okay? So you can build the one house, and then after the fact, you can build another one. It's going to be a different process, though. It's not going to be the same. You cannot build the second house with 3.5% down. Now, if you split the parcel, okay, so you have a piece of land, and you split it, and then you build this one, and decide to build another one, and you want to live in it, then we can talk. But you're only going to build one at a time, guys. And then actually the rest of their question was, and live in one, and my parents can live in the other home, okay? That's a very popular statement. That's why I'm saying there's going to be a ton of building going on for a long time right now. A lot of building. So it's a very popular way of going. But the second one likely, is, if you wanted to do it right away, is going to be an ADU, which is accessory dwelling unit, usually a little smaller than the primary residence. Sank 99. Thank you very much for the info, guys.
We're here for you.
Vanessa, thank you for the love.
Appreciate you.
The Lux Cornbread said, yo.
Yo.
T. Just T. 2 charge-offs, $10,000 and $4,000 from 2022, and 1 collection, 4K, no debt, 650 credit score, approval odds.
Give me a second. 2 charge-offs and 10K from 2022, 4K from 2022, and 1 collection for. Okay, so that's 10K, 650. I'd say high, dude.
So 1 collection.
Your approval, as long as your debt to income ratio is there, you're like 85%. Pretty high.
Deluxe Cornbread, my man, Chris, I will reach out to you. We'll be ready.
We're ready.
We'll be ready. Tony Bow's in the house.
What's up, Tony Bows? Always, that person makes me happy.
Always.
When I see Tony Bows, for some reason, I just like light up a little bit.
For those of you who don't know, because you probably do know, Tony Bows is our TikTok ambassador.
Ambassador.
Got a title and everything.
And title.
I don't even have an ambassador title.
You don't have no title.
None.
His title is Chris.
I don't even call myself a loan officer.
He's like Chris. Yeah.
I don't even call myself a loan officer.
I'm and Lee.
Oh, like, you get 2 names.
And Lee. And it's not his is Chris.
Is that French?
I'm and Lee. Yeah, and Lee.
That's French.
No.
Let's see what else we have here. We have Vident Ruben. Thank you for the love. T. Thank you for the love. Just followed you guys. Do you do Florida? Do you do Florida?
We do Florida.
I love Florida.
We do Florida. We do all 50 states, actually. There's not a lot of loan officers who do all 50 states. The 2 real difficult ones are Hawaii and New York. And we didn't up until about 6 months ago, but then our bank got approved. And once the bank got approved, we're able to do the loans there. So, yeah, we do Florida, all 50 states.
I think you inceptioned me the other day. I don't even think you know it.
All right.
Because for a long time, I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy a house in Texas.
And, and
then you're like, I don't think you're going to buy in Texas. I think you're buying in Florida. And in my brain, I'm like, I think I'm buying in Florida. And then I hear on the news this morning that Florida values are starting to come down in the Orlando area. Yeah. And I'm like, it's looking very sexy to me.
I wouldn't live in Orlando.
I didn't say Orlando. I said Florida.
Yeah. Coral Gables was amazing, but I think it's too expensive.
I got to take a trip down there and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Tony Bell said, let's tap that screen, guys. Tap that screen. Give us some shares. Help us out. Diana H. Hi. Underwriter said they need proof of what some accounts went to collections. Help.
So Diana H. What the underwriter is saying is, okay, I need to believe your story. So let's just say, hey, Mr. Underwriter, The reason I went into collections was because I got emergency appendicitis. And I didn't have something set up so that I could take care of my bills while I was in the hospital. So guess what? They rushed me to the hospital. They took out my appendix. And for the time when I was supposed to pay my bills, I was not able to pay my bills. So I got a 30-day late on 6 different items.
What?
And then I go, okay, cool. Then I get out of the appendicitis. I pay those bills, but those 30-day lates are still there. Now, a year later, I try and buy a house. And the underwriter says, hey, why are you late? And you're like, trust me, bro, I got appendicitis. And we're like, okay, I might trust your words, but I do want the proof. So then I write a letter of explanation that says, hey, on this day I got emergency appendicitis. Here is the ambulance bill. Here is the admittance to the hospital. Here is the surgery bill. And here's my release date from the hospital. All right? So now the underwriter goes, okay, you say you got emergency appendicitis. I see that they rushed you to the hospital. I see that the hospital charged you. I see they took out your appendix. I see you went back to normal life, and then you started paying your bills. It's pretty simple. They just want it to make sense. Because there's a lot of people, you're not going to believe this, but there's a lot of people who lie. Yes.
Where are those people at?
They're like, trust me, bro.
I'm not going there.
I had an appendicitis. Trust me.
I'm
Yeah.
not going
Well,
there.
the underwriters don't really trust nobody. They don't even trust him, and they don't even trust me. They check everything. They check things that I don't even know to check. Like, I'll give you for instance. When you sign up for a loan, you send me your 1040s. All right? Cool. I'm a licensed loan officer. I look at your 1040s. I'm like, hey, this guy makes $100,000 a year. Awesome. 1040, calculate the income. And then you go into escrow. And the escrow, they're like, hey, here we go. And we send it to an underwriter. Once you sign those initial docs, you sign something called a 4506T. The 4506T gives the underwriter permission to call the IRS. And they say, hey, Mr. IRS, we'd like some transcripts. This guy says they make $100,000 a year. Is that what they told you? And the IRS says, well, yes, they told us to make $100,000 a year. Or worse, no, they told us they made $60,000. Send me those transcripts, please. Cool. I don't even know this happens. I've had a loan in my history where I just got tapped on the shoulder and said, hey, you know that Jane Doe loan you were working on? Yeah, you're not working on it anymore. I'm like, why? I got a commission on the line. We're in escrow. Yeah, this is way bigger than you. And trust me, you don't want any piece of it. It's just going to disappear off your pipeline.
What?
Yep, that's what happens.
Damn. Karen DeZala.
They don't even trust us.
Karen DeZala said, you guys need to buy in Arizona with me.
I love it.
That's not off the table, young lady.
I love it.
That is not off the table.
Yep.
Actually, what is it? What's the city in Arizona that's pretty jumping?
Phoenix. Love Phoenix. Love Phoenix. I like the Phoenician. If you want to stay at a really nice hotel, it's a little expensive, but if you want to stay at a really nice hotel, the Phoenician. It's on a golf course. It's amazing.
KDZ, what's the hot spot in Arizona right now? Where's everyone flocking to? What are the neighborhoods? Drop them in here and let the world know what's going on.
Yep.
Tony Bell says, let's tap. Tapping is free.
Tap. The tapping is free. Tap that ing.
What did Billy Madison say?
Tap.
Tappy tap. Just a little tappy tap.
Tappy tap.
Not Billy Madison. Who's the golfer? Who was the golfer that Adam Sandler played? Happy Gilmore.
There you go.
Happy Gilmore said tappy tap. All right. Diana's back in the house. Thank you. If it's financial hardship during the time, would my income tax from back then work as proof?
Probably not. Because that just means you made less. So if you had a financial hardship, something happened. So let me give you an example. Let's say I used to live in Florida and Hurricane Andrew came through when I was there. So let's say that you were in the construction business and Hurricane Andrew just took out the whole building and you couldn't get paid for like 3 months or 4 months because there's no building and no electricity and the water was poisoned and there's a lot of bad things that happened. So you tell the underwriter, hey, I lived through Hurricane Andrew. And they're like, cool. Can you prove it? Yeah, cool. Here's the date that I was out. Here's what happened. Here's the company that employed me. They didn't pay me. I have to prove a financial hardship for a reason. It can't be just because I didn't go to work for a while. Because your income for, let's say 2 years ago, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm a nurse and I make $100,000 a year, but I don't feel like working for 6 months. So I made $50,000. That's not a financial hardship. That's a choice. There's a big difference. And they know that. So There's a lot to it.
Lot to it, guys. User 3463 jumping on this. Can I use my adoption assistance program as income to apply for a home?
Maybe.
Good question.
Maybe. So here's the rules. There's rules on this. First rule is it permanent? Because in California, we have this thing where you can do it for a year. And they pay you pretty good, but at the year, it's not permanent. So is it permanent? Like permanent till that kid's 18 and then moving on. That's your kid. You adopted him. Okay? So if it's permanent, leans towards yes. Then there's the next thing. You would have at least 3 years before that person becomes an adult. Now, an adult can be 18. An adult can be 21 under certain circumstances, but call it 18, which means this kid has to have at least 3 years before they become an adult. Is there a catch to that? Yes. Let's say this kid is disabled and you will get this adoption money for life. In that situation, leans towards yes. But if it's a temporary, no. If they will turn 18 3 years or less, no. There's a lot of reasons to say no, but there's some reasons to say yes. We have to do it.
Yeah. I really like that question, though, because there's so many different sources of income that people receive that can be used towards purchasing a home. A lot of time it's not understood that you can use this. I mean, the most basic one is Social Security income. So once you retire and you start receiving Social Security income, a lot of people think, it's just money that I get from the government that I put in a long time ago that I'm collecting now. That can be used towards buying a house, guys. There's so many sources. So when you call us or we have a conversation, make sure you let us know about all the different sources of income. Maybe some of them we can't use, but most of them we usually can. So good question. Very good question. Karen Dizal says the hot spots are Bullhead City, Fort Mojave, great prices, beautiful homes. Phoenix area look into, Surprise,
No.
Buckeye, and Gold Canyon.
So Bullhead City. I got a friend who lives in Bullhead City. And we put the boat on the water up in Lake Mead. And come to me.
Laughlin?
Laughlin, but it's the Christian's Cove. I think it's Christian's Cove. So anyway, so we go there and it's a weird life. It's different. It's a lifestyle. First off, this person lives in like a mansion. It's amazing. Marble floors, marble, everything. It's amazing. But when we go out there, it's 114 degrees all the time. I go out at night, at 11 at night, it's 114 degrees. Their air conditioner is like monster badass air conditioner because it's nice and cold in the house all the time. But it's a lifestyle. I see how he got used to it. I can see how you can get used to it. But my first few days are just like, God, it's hot. I need to get in the water like right now because it gets really hot. But the lifestyle, like I said, this person lives in like a mansion and it's beautiful. And it's so, I'm excited it's going to be hot. I'm excited it's going to be hot. That whole thing goes, because every year I go up there. Yeah, it's a different kind of hot.
Different hot. Hits you hard. Han, hi, what happens to the bride loan if the home doesn't sell in 5 to 6 months? What happens to the bride loan? Bridge.
Yeah, it gets called. So a bridge loan. So here's what a bridge loan is. Hey, I need to get, let's call it a construction loan in order to build a house. And I'm going to sell it out. So in the meantime, I have a bridge loan to cover the construction loan until I have a takeout loan. Well, there's collateral behind that bridge loan. And usually the collateral is the house. They don't give you a bridge loan unless there's some kind of collateral behind it. And if you don't make that other side of the bridge, they'll take the house. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point.
You fall in the water.
Yep.
Diana, makes sense. Thanks, guys. You're great.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Isaiah, thank you for the love. User 3463. I was told it's permanent until the kids are 18. Currently, the kids are 4 and 5 years old.
So if you're told, you can't be told. There has to be paperwork. Because if you're like underwriter, trust me, bro. The client told me that he was told that that this is going to go forever. So just count it. Just count it. The underwriter's going to be like, Lee, how long have you been doing this? How long have you have no documentation?
I don't learn.
Yeah, how long have you been doing this? So it's real simple. When you get that paperwork, it's going to say permanent. And if it doesn't say permanent, it's not permanent.
Well, it may not say permanent, but it may say until 18.
Yeah, it makes it
And that's the same thing.
So as long as the paperwork is ironclad, then yes.
Okay. Jenny said, Jesus Christ, never getting a home. Jesus Christ lives in my heart. That's his home.
All right, that got a little weird, but I'm not gonna lie, that got a little weird.
I'm not gonna lie, Jenny, it is tough. It's tough out there.
It's a very tough environment. We know because we're on the front line and we talk to people every day. We pull credit every day. We realize the average person across the country making probably 60 G's. You go with that? 60 G's?
50 to 60.
50 to 60 G's, and you need 100 G's to buy like a $350,000 house, and that's usually what the norm is. So we have to talk to people every day, and we know what's going on. It is tough. It's going to get better, Jenny.
Yep.
It's going to get better. We actually think the odds, last time I checked, which is about a week ago, 100% that they're going to reduce the rates in September. 100%. Now, when people are like, hey, free money, it's going to be reduced. I'm like, no, it's not going to be like that. If you've ever been on a roller coaster and you know you're going up, click, 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 all the way to the top, and then that first car starts to go over, is it really, really dramatic at that point?
Your heart's pounding.
It's starting to go down. But you don't really feel anything because you don't have enough momentum behind it yet. So the first rate will be the first car going over that hump. And then the second rate cut will be the second car. And then third, fourth, fifth. And then after about 5, 6, 7 cars, all of a sudden you're like, holy smokes, I'm going to do this. That's what's going to happen.
Yep. And user 3463, thank you for answering. You are welcome. Once again, they say you guys are awesome. Love your videos.
We appreciate you very much.
We really appreciate you. Karen Dizala said it's friggin' hot.
It is. It's weird hot, man. It's so strange because and it's just, and they say dry heat, and like to 100, I don't think dry heat really makes a difference. Maybe a little bit, but when you get above 114, that dry heat really does make a difference. Because when you're out there and it's 114, but it's a dry heat, so different. It's so weird. Because like when I go to Austin, we were in Austin in like a week ago, and it was 90 degrees but humid, and it was 100 degrees in California but dry. And I could feel the difference. It wasn't like life-changing, but you could feel you sweat faster in humidity and a little bit more. When you get to 114, the game changes entirely, man. It's just entirely changes.
Heck yeah. Karen Dizala, I'm seeing double of you because I see you on Instagram and TikTok.
Oh, that's
I mean,
badass.
2 of you.
That's badass.
Is that how you do California and Arizona?
Tony Bowles, it's hot here in Florida. So I lived in Miami, and I lived in Coral Gables, and I lived in South Beach. Those three spots in Miami. And that the first 2 years, there's like 3 months out of the year where I'm like, oh my God, this is insanely hot. This is like Guatemala hot. It's hot. It's like right next to the equator hot. But after a while, you kind of get used to it. And I really loved living in Florida. It was pretty badass. I loved living in Florida.
Blanca Susana, thank you for joining.
What's up, Blanca Susana? We miss you.
Long time no see.
We miss you.
All right, you ready to call it?
You know what? We appreciate you guys. We are putting out the information so that we got a couple real quick. Before we go, we should answer these couple questions.
All right, Tony, 890, let's do that.
Okay.
I have 120 and want to invest into real estate. What should I do?
Oh, that's simple, Tony. I'll give you the answer in like less than 3 seconds. Call us.
Screenshot this.
That's it. So, cool.
Tony Bowles, I'm in Mickey Mouse's backyard.
Oh, dude, Mickey Mouse's backyard. That's Disney World, not Disney
Epcot
Land.
Center.
Yeah, Disney World, Busch Gardens. Oh, badass.
Beer.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you guys. We've been Chris and Lee. We are out.